Hey there survivors, how's it going? I'm your host Douglas here at Drawboy Productions, bringing you another Screaming Ghostface Collector's video. And it's beginning to feel a bit empty in here. I've been very busy recently trying to get stuff set up for the museum. It has been an absolute ton of work trying to get all this stuff set up. A lot of these display cases that are now not in here were very difficult to move, and it's been quite a process, but we're not here necessarily to talk about that. I just wanted to go ahead and give you guys an explanation to why it's looking so empty in here, and it's only going to continue to become even more empty. But we're here to talk about a few new Screaming Ghostface pieces. Most of these are stuff that I've picked up at Spirit Halloween recently. However, we do have one item from Spirit not featured in this video and another random piece that's going to be thrown in. So let's go ahead and dive right in. And I guess we'll start today's video off with one of the more unique pieces. Here we have the Ghostface S Stepper. I'm pretty sure most of you watching already know what side steppers are, and you may even have some in your own collection. Spirit has put out killer clowns, they put out a Leatherface, a Chucky, I believe they did Billy Butcherson from Hocus Pocus as well. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I think they did Billy. They've done several different characters, including, of course, now Ghostface. I have come across a few of these, but unfortunately the boxes on most of them are pretty destroyed. A lot of them, the sides were ripped entirely. This one isn't perfect. There's a rip here in the corner, and I think a little bit of other damage somewhere else. Maybe not. Oh, I think it was this. Not technically damaged, but the knife on this one is a bit bent, not really straight, and I probably won't do much to reshape it. I'm gonna leave it in its original condition. Yeah, these are gonna be a little bit difficult to find perfect, including the figure itself, because these are open packages. Anybody can reach in, touch them, play with them. The paint can get scratched or messed up during shipping, so these may be a little bit more difficult to find in mint condition. As for the actual figure itself, it is just a small, cartoonish style Ghostface figure. He has a nice little robe here, and he just kind of goes side to side, and I think it just has like some screaming sounds and some like knife stabbing or slashing sounds. No Ghostface voice lines, no Roger Jackson stuff here. The knife itself looks like a buck 120 handle, but it's not a buck blade. It's also like weirdly indented, like it's got these weird ridges on the side of it. I don't know why they did that, but it's got like tiny little specks of blood kind of splattered on it. And then the mask itself also has blood on it. However, it's just dripping down from, I guess, like on top of the head here. So maybe this is Ghostface after he got hit in the head pretty good. Personally, I don't think the blood's terrible, but I think it maybe would have looked better without the blood. The Try Me pull tab is still attached, so I'm not going to pull that out for this video. I'm guessing you guys have already seen these in person, or maybe you can find another video for it online. But it's nothing super special, but as a small animatronic, I think it's pretty cool. The packaging just has an image of the Ghostface figure on the sides, and a little bit of information on the back, but really not too much. As for the price on these are around $33, which is kind of pricey for something this size, but at the same time, the side steppers, the animatronics and stuff like that, typically, long-term, end up being kind of hard to get a hold of and therefore kind of pricey. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on to another Spirit Halloween pickup with the miniature blow mold Ghostface. Now, when we initially saw these, I was really hoping they were going to be full, like 2 foot tall at least, blow molds. Unfortunately, they're smaller, like desk size, stuff like that. And I mean, for people trying to collect, like have a room full of Ghostface stuff or just horror stuff in general, this is definitely much more size appropriate. However, because of it being a blow mold plastic piece, I kind of wish it was full scale and even charged for like a full scale plastic price. That would just be a really cool yard decoration. But that's not anything really too negative, it's just talking about the size of it. As for the sculpture itself, I think the mask looks pretty good. It looks kind of like an EU with a little bit of like a wider mouth, but kind of like a mix between an EU and an ultra white. Not a terrible look. The knife itself looks more like a typical kitchen knife, and of course it's not bloody or anything like that. Not super detailed, but not bad by any means. And the rest of it is pretty much just the robed Ghostface figure. I mean, there's not a whole lot to see detail-wise whenever it comes to Ghostface, because it's usually just the mask, the knife, and the costume. I guess we could talk about the paint imperfections. You may notice the actual paint on the mask itself, or even the area around the shroud and the mask can sometimes be a bit sloppy. This was the best copy I could find in person, but it's not terrible. It's nothing too major to note either. And also, for those of you who are interested and maybe you want different packaging styles, they do have these currently in Spencer's, and they are packaged boxed versions. So if you go pick those up in Spencer's, instead of having the tag on the side with the Try Me, it will be in a collectible display box. And personally, I kind of wanted one of those rather than this, but these you do get the 20% off, and also they were just a lot easier to find. As for turning it on, I actually can turn this one on, and you'll see you can press the button to turn it on or off, and pretty much Ghostface's mask just lights up, and that's really all there is to see to it. No flashing effects or any sounds or anything like that. Oh, there actually is a flashing effect on the other side. I guess I was wrong. But let's go ahead and move on to masks. We did get one other toy type piece, but we're gonna save that for a different video. So let's go ahead and move on to masks. Technically, neither of these are Spirit Halloween pickups. One of them, however, was done while Halloween hunting for all this stuff, and one of them was just an online pickup. So here we have, from the dollar store, Dollar General, we have the new Banshee Mask by Clive Barzilia. This was sculpted by old Burke Bench Designs. I think his original version's a little bit crisper, and you can see the details a bit better. And there's a little bit of like weird, like there's a dent over here that's not on this side. I'm not sure if that was just sculpted asymmetrically or if that happened during the molding process or shipping process, but overall, this one is pretty darn close to his, just of course a mass manufactured version. When you have an artist made copy, typically they're going to be better than the mass produced versions, and that is the case here. These are kind of a thinner plastic mask, not super sturdy, injection molded or anything like that. And they do have straps as well going through the mask itself, so there's kind of like holes in the side of the mask, and the straps go through it, then they're stitched. So pretty good sturdy strap there on the inside. And of course, what I'm sure most of you are interested in talking about, the shroud itself. This is a Fun World mask with a white shroud, and this is something we have not seen in a very long time. Now, just as an individual ground up mask, I think this is actually a pretty darn cool Halloween mask. It's a pretty darn cool sculpture as is. If you're gonna customize these, which I have already seen people doing, these are pretty great. They're only $8, so price-wise, not too bad. And yet again, I gotta bring this up, guys. Fun World's not using mask pictures on their tags, but look, Dollar General is. I don't know if these actual tags are printed and distributed by Fun World. I don't think so. It doesn't seem to be. It doesn't say Fun World anywhere on the tag, but these are definitely made by Fun World, so kind of sad that their tags are a lot cooler than Fun World's are currently. But yeah, as for that white shroud, very shocking that they went back to this, and it is actually pretty different from the other style shrouds. As far as trying to describe it, it's pretty close to the Viper style, but very different at the same time. The Viper style had this piece under here, whereas this one doesn't have that, but it still has these same side pieces, which I guess is supposed to be kind of like a cheaper version of the shroud or hood, that are stitched on to the actual shroud of the mask here. I'm saying the word shroud an awful lot. But yeah, basically it is a new type as far as how it's stitched. It is, of course, a white fabric. It is very unfortunate that we're not seeing these put on EUs currently and brought back. That would be really cool, as well as some fluorescent EUs. But if you are crafty and you feel like doing it yourself and you want to have a white shroud Ghostface represented in your collection, and of course you can't afford or can't find the rare original versions, I would say maybe just grab a cheap Ghostface mask, ultra white, EU, does not matter. Grab one of those. Even a plastic mask would work pretty well, and shroud it with one of these, and I think you would have a pretty cool looking custom Ghostface. Alright, we're down to the last mask and the final piece for today's video. This is a piece that I picked up online. I saw it, I didn't have one of these, this was a very reasonable price for one, so I went ahead and grabbed it, and now I kinda regret it. Here we have the original Fun World tag style version of the aged Ghostface mask. I have been able to find the Spirit versions in stores, however, I have not been able to find one of these versions. So I picked this one up on eBay for around 20 bucks plus shipping, which was around $28 total, which is kind of high resale value, but not incredibly like scalper prices high. So I just went ahead and bit the bullet and grabbed one for the collection. Overall, it is a pretty good mask, but it is a bit warped. However, I did notice something really cool I like about it. There's actually some leftover like eye material here in the eyes where it's supposed to have been cut out, and you can see the sculpted line. And that's something you don't see too often on modern day masks, so I actually really like this copy, and I kind of like how deformed it is as well. As for the tag itself, like I said, these are different from the Spirit tags. The Spirit tags have a metal eyelet in the middle, where you can hang it and it'll not get ripped or deformed. These don't have that, but outside of that, you just have the Ghostface branding, Fun World, Ghostface Lives, Scream 6 branding down here, and aged in English and another language. On the back here for the manufacturing date, April to June 2023. Not too much to see on the back, pretty much standard for the rest of the masks. And I did say that I regretted kind of picking this up online, and I will tell you all why. So, not too long after grabbing these, I made another trip back to Ultimate Party, somewhere that I went very, very early in the season and had not visited again. Well, upon making a trip back, I found out they actually had a plethora of Ghostface. Back when I first went, I think they just had the chrome masks and the 25th anniversaries. Now, they've got these style aged masks. They've got pretty much everything from this year, and I did pick up a pretty nice assortment, but not quite everything. And I didn't grab all of them. I only grabbed 2 of each of what I was trying to get, which were 2 of these, 2 of the Arctic Ghostfaces, because those were pretty hard to get a hold of, 2 Crypt Creatures, because they only had 2 left, and I got 2 of the golden chrome Ghostface masks. So I guess I pretty much spoiled what we're going to be doing another video on, but if you guys want to hear more about those and take a better close-up look at those, as well as a couple of other items, I'll be doing a video on those soon, but I just wanted to go ahead and throw this one in today, and also just to kind of tease that video. But outside of that, I mean, these are really, really nice. They seem very, very similar, of course, to the Spirit Halloween copies. The only thing I've noticed, and I don't know if this is a production run thing that was done on purpose, or if this is just happenstance, but at least with the copies I've seen in person from like 4 or 5 different spirits and this one Ultimate Party rack, it seems like these versions are a little bit lighter colored. Most of the spirit ones were either very dark, very gray, or very yellow. Whereas with these, they seem to have quite a bit of white, a lot of gray kinda, and not a whole lot of yellowish color. So, slightly different paint jobs. Yet again, I don't know if this was intentional for the run or if this is just with the ones I've observed, but overall, very, very nice pieces in today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Love you all, thank you for watching, and I'll have some more stuff coming very soon.